Hey y'all, it's Renegade, and it's time to spill some more reality as we get into the season premiere of Canada's Drag Race Canada versus the World Season 2. Now, want to say sorry right off the jump that this has been a little delayed. We decided not to do a podcast for All Stars 9 due to it just being the ultimate filler episode of all time, with one of the most game-breaking twists that I've ever seen. But I'm also getting back from DragCon LA as well too, so I needed a moment to gather myself here. Let's also insert a photo of myself with Ice Couture. Ah. Okay, anyway, so let's not wait any longer here and get into things right away and introduce my co-host as we get into all of the looks, laughs, and legendary moments of episode 1, Drag Pop. Without further ado, if someone doesn't like him, not only does he not know it, actually I'm pretty sure he knows it, he's already reading them already. It's QuackrrJack. Jack, how are you feeling tonight, and what are your overall thoughts on the season premiere?
I think it's so interesting that we're going back to a the Beaver. First of all, we're in Canada, so that's really fun. It's a very fun twist. We're going back to Lipsyncs for Your Life. I think this is something that the fans are really going to appreciate because the girls are really going to have to give it their all. Like, no longer are you being saved by your friendships. You better save yourself in that performance you give on that main stage.
Oh my
I,
god, can we just say I'm so happy to see Lip Sync for Your Life return? It has changed
yeah.
so much, and I'm so ready. We needed this, I think, in All Stars. We needed a change from the. I love the Lip Sync for Your Legacy, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely not stakes behind it. I think we're gonna see some absolute stakes this season, and maybe a little bit of drama, finally, unlike All Stars 9. I mean, I think we've already had more drama this one episode than we had pretty much the entire season of All Stars 9. So I'm so excited to actually talk about this season because I just feel like there's just a really good energy that is kind of starting the season off. I don't know if you agree with the Jack, but I really kind of am just really, really excited to see where the season goes here.
Oh, 100%. There's a good list of like people who could actually contend for the crown, people who you just don't think have a chance in hell, and maybe they get to prove themselves. Some people have a real good need of redemption this season, so we'll see if they get it. So it's going to be interesting.
Oh, for sure.
And
And let's just get into the episode right away because I feel like there's a lot to talk about here. And let's kind of like we can maybe do a lightning round here on their entrance looks here. And let's one by one here. And we can kind of point out your favorite if you want to too. Um, Alexis liked it.
oh yes, beautiful,
Oops.
beautiful bride, loved it.
And can I say I loved it when she started pretending to be the host too? I thought that was hilarious and a good touch for someone who walked in being first.
Oh
I
my
I
god, right?
I don't really like Alexis on occasion, but there's certain times where she's very funny, and I loved her opening here. I was like, okay, you go, Alexis. Um, Cheryl, eh. Um, I
Cheryl's dress was just meh, especially after Alexis. It was like, come on,
yeah, it was very too basic. I think it was definitely my
yeah,
bottom two. I think there was someone you probably liked a little less than this, but Cheryl was
yeah.
my bottom two if I had to rank
She
them
was
from
towards the
entrance
bottom for
list.
me for sure. It was just basic.
Now, Tainomi, um, hmm, I didn't mind this look. I thought Tainomi
Oh,
did
I
pretty good on this basic
love
look.
this look.
She
It
did
was
so
pretty
good.
good. There was a couple issues like that didn't put it in the top for me, but it was such a good look. Also, she looks great in orange.
Agreed, agreed. I think there's, yeah, I agree. There's definitely a little bit of maybe some, yes, yeah, definitely some, with like the netting, something, just something about the fabric, but she
Yeah,
does look good with the
underneath it
orange.
as well. You like those details where you can see through the netting, but the hair, oh, the hair was giving me life. I was like, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes, yes. And I wasn't sure about the shoe, but you know,
She's looked a lot worse.
definitely,
Uh,
definitely, this is a great look for her.
maybe one of my top two favorite opening look though is LaPhil. Like this was so creative with the balloons and I love this. I love this. LaPhil is oh my god, just I'm so excited for the creativity that LaPhil's gonna bring this season.
Like I said, LaFell has never had a bad look before. Making that list of like bad looks for everyone and couldn't find one for her. Like LaFell keeps me excited at the edge of my seat because I know that I'm going to get something fun and original. And I like to point out that on some of the panels, it said like air mail, and then it also said air mail, like with the man version of mail on it, which I thought was funny for her. It was just like it was campy. It was great.
Yeah, I do think that LaFell is going to bring a real originality, I think, to to the runway this season, and I agree with you that I kind of love the creativity and the fact that it's kind of gender fuckery in like a new way. Because a lot of the times he's playing with a lot more of the masculine side of drag, and I'm kind of really excited to see. Hopefully, Liv will have a long run, especially after something like this.
Oh, too, please.
Hannah though, what was
Oh,
this? This might have been one of my least favorite looks of a while. Yeah.
you know what? She didn't
Mm.
have much coming into the season to look forward to, but this was not pleasing or helpful, or no one wanted to see this. She had a lot to bring.
You know,
It
like
didn't get brought
I,
in.
I feel like here's my thought if I'm locking in. Just as a side, really quick. Obviously, you know how the episode ends here, but like, if her thing is to try to last to episode two, why wouldn't you go all out on episode one and just like literally put your entire budget into this first episode just to make sure you get past it? Because this is just, ah, I, ah. Well, let's go to Kennedy. I loved how they called Kennedy Jimbo. Um,
Oh God.
but I actually I don't mind this look on Kennedy. I thought it was pretty. I mean, obviously we have to judge Kennedy against herself, but I loved kind of how it was out like one piece, and I didn't mind the fabric. I don't mind. I didn't mind it. I liked it.
It's like if she did her choir look from her original season 7, but like the choir director goes to the park. I thought it was a lovely Southern Baptist kind of drag. I thought it was great for an entrance outfit. It wasn't like the best thing, but it wasn't boring. And there's a lot going on here with this pattern, at least. So it's fun.
But yeah, I feel like Kennedy's always going to bring us something. You're always your eyes are going to be busy when you look at Kennedy, for the better or for worse. And I think this is for the better. I do kind of feel like maybe Kennedy's aesthetic this season hopefully will be the best package that she's brought here. So, great start with this entrance look, and let's go to Miss Fiercelicious. I know you had words here, but personally, I love the fact that she just decided. She said she was going to do it. She wore this fucking dress, and she decided it's going to be her entrance look. And I love that there's like a through line. Spoiler alert for the end of the episode. Um, so as much as it is probably the worst thing we've seen here, it was worse on purpose. So I give
Yeah.
it a pass for that, and it makes me
You
laugh.
know what though? I think I misjudged this because I don't. I think Lakahenna should be lower than this. Even though this is bad, I do think I misjudged this. I think Lakahenna should be the worst on this list. But it's bad. But she knows she's doing it on purpose. It's a gag. I'm here for it. Um, that's it is what it is, right?
And Eureka's look, I mean, I didn't mind. I thought she did all right. I mean, I feel like Eureka always comes out kind of looking pretty good for the most part. Looking at least like she at least spent money on the outfit, whether or not it's like to my taste level. Eh. But I didn't mind this look for Eureka.
I mean, personally, I loved this look. I thought it was very fun. Her hat kind of looks like a apostrophe or a comma. Like the gloves, the shoes, like the velvety material everywhere, and it's all sparkly and it's well put together, which I can't say about everyone else's outfit on this entrance look. It was one of my top two.
Okay. We have also have Lemon here. Lemon, I think, we tied with LaPhil, maybe for my favorite interest look, but I'm gonna be very biased here again. I love Lemon, and I can't find any flaws with her, and I love there's so much to look at here, and I feel like she just did such a good job with just like the sheer ruffling on the bottom. It was such a good look. Kind of wish maybe she switched her entrance look with her best drag look, um, but just small there.
I love that she went back to just doing the full on yellow, and she did all these very different shades of yellow and things that I don't think anyone would find necessarily pleasing, but putting them all together, like she really does look like a lemon dress kind of thing going on. She looks extravagant, she looks beautiful. It's still her style. She's got the like straight hair. It's yellow, obviously. Everything here is yellow. Even the shoes are a different color of yellow, and I think it's just like one of these monochromatic like moments that I'm really just appreciating.
And lemon is definitely the Comfort Nymphia's color. But again, I guess different country. She's welcome to claim yellow as hers. Um,
1000%. Maybe it's the year of yellow.
I mean, it could be worse though, yo. We could have like poop brown as our color. Anyway.
I mean, Michelle would be getting green and she'd be freaking out,
Oh my
so,
God.
right?
Yeah, true. Honestly, I would say I think I kind of agree with Michelle. If I'm going for monochromatic, I think green would be my least favorite color.
I love green. How dare you?
There are certain like nice shades like butt greens, but like there are certain like poop greens or just no. Um,
It's dependent on how you use the colors, so I get it. Like it's all dependent on how you create it.
I feel like green meshes less with other colors.
Well, that's why it's
Side plot.
monochromatic.
Okay, you're true. You're true. Well, y'all, much like Canada versus the World Season 1, we get right into our girl group challenges right from the start, which I think is a pretty smart choice considering there's 9 girls here. It does allow them to split up equally into 3 groups, and you can kind of get the, the performance going off of it in a way that, like, not like the talent shows. I feel like you get, like, talent shows get kind of a little annoying. I feel like now. I feel like they're kind of a little played out. Girl group challenges are never going to be played out, though. And the thing that I like about this Canada versus the world is the way that they do it here is that instead of choosing your group, you choose the song that you want to perform. Which and sometimes too, I guess I when it comes down to how a lot of these girls were picking, they actually were picking based off of who was actually picking the song and not actually what song they wanted to do. But what did you think of the twist of the fact that they were being given 3 different songs here, each with their own kind of flavor and you know, I guess archetype to it. We have Bopulence, the track that's supposed to be about how rich you are to be a drag queen. We have Tongue Pop, which is basically going to be the pitch track, and we have That Face, which is all about serving face.
I mean, I love this. Like this beat, tongue pop, opulence. Like there's unique categories. Like and anyone could do any of them and do probably well. I mean, I would probably say anyone doing this beat probably should have really good makeup. So I would steer clear of that if you're not like the top of your game, or if you're if you're left with it, I guess. But it was interesting because some of the girls chose just based on what they wanted, and some of the girls chose like, oh, my friends are over here, or oh, I think they're good performers. And I think sometimes some people chose because they're good performers and also the song went well. But one person who I felt like I just didn't understand was Eureka's choice because she wanted to go to Lakahenna because she felt like Lakahenna was like on her own and she felt bad for her. And I was like, but the point is that you need to do well in this first competition, so you should be giving yourself any advantage of being with whoever you want to be with and based on what the song is about because you need to give us what the song requirement is.
Someone else who had a kind of a questionable choice. Well, there are 2 other girls who made a kind of a questionable choice for me. One was Loghan deciding not to work with Kennedy, knowing that she's a dancer. I guess
Right.
it makes sense to some degree if she's like, okay, well, maybe Kennedy's gonna do like choreography that's just way too hard for me. Then maybe I should stay clear of here. But I also feel like, Kennedy's a good dancer. She's a good teacher. So I feel like she would have been able to curate something that was within her, realm of, possibilities. Who knows? Because it doesn't seem like really Malkin maybe was much of a dancer kind of coming into this. But the other person who kind of threw me off here as well was Alexis, because she made a comment because when it came down to the very last 2 choices between her and Fierce, it turns out that Alexis got to pick her group. Fierce didn't. Fierce got sabotaged. Again, it begins. Episode 1, how dare they? Oh my god. But Alexis made a comment that if she didn't get put into Bopulence group, then she was screwed. I don't understand how she would have done worse in the other group. I think she actually might have done better with that face group, personally, in my opinion. But that's how the Queen saw it. That's how things ended up here. But we ended up with our 3 teams, with Team Bopulence being Alexis, Eureka, and Lakahenna, Team Tongue Pop being Cheryl, Kennedy, and Lemon, and Team That Face of Fierce, LaPhil, and Tainomi. Now, just a brief kind of overview on kind of at least the cliques that we got to see here, at least some of the relationships that kind of stuck out here. We got basically the Canada girls, or as Fierce would say, the Canadian alliance between her, Fierce, and Tainomi and Lemon. I thought was funny here because Tainomi apparently has a history with Fierce where they kind of annoy each other, or at least maybe Tainomi is just gets annoyed by Fierce. I think that's maybe what I got from that there. And we also learned that Lemon is only kind of working with this group just for long they could break the Canadian curse that Lemon made from UK versus the World One. So, do you think this could mean that this Canadian group will work together, or do we have a possibility of seeing maybe some uh, alliances made cross country? Because we also learn here that Cheryl is pretty close to Lemon after their first two elimination cuts in Canada versus, or sorry, UK versus the World One. Do you think these connections will have any play on the season here, Mr. Jack?
I definitely think so. In this season, you're not saving someone uh, because you're not saving someone per se from the cut of just like getting voted out. You're saving someone from being up for the performance aspect of the challenge, right? So like if Lemon or Cheryl ends up in the bottom, but the other one wins the challenge, they could use the Golden Beaver and immediately save the other one, and vice versa with like maybe the Canadian girls will save each other, or the American girls might save each other. It's possible that like these, I guess, inter-country alliances could actually end up being favorable to the girls if they can get past some of their issues they might have with each other. Spoiler alert: some of the girls and some of the teams don't like each other that much.
Ooh, well, this is why I didn't mind that maybe Eureka reached out to Lakahana in some ways, because it's like, okay, it is smart to make, connections that are outside of what you have, but maybe it wasn't the best to reach out to a first boot. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the groups in the order they performed here, and then we can talk about the runways afterwards here, and maybe do another lightning round through that. We get the first group here, which is Alexis Mateo, Eureka, and Lakahena as Alexis and the rest. Oh, actually, wait, I'm sorry. They were just divas, and they were performing Bopulence, which again was an upbeat anthem that discusses the opulence that comes from being a drag queen. Now, some of the things that I kind of got from this group was it felt like even though Alexis wanted to do this, it felt weird that like she decided to want to just write about herself. Actually, it felt like all three of them kind of just decided to write about themselves because as far as I'm concerned, from their performance and their lyrics, really didn't get anything about the theme of the song whatsoever, and it was also a very weak performance, I would say, between the three. Lakahana definitely had struggle. She was struggle busting through the entire performance. I didn't notice how off she was until I watched it a second time. I think the first time I watched it was right after I got back from DragCon that night. I was ready to go to bed, so I was kind of fading in and out of sleepiness. And I remember all three of them being like amazing initially, and I was like, when are they gonna make a decision? And then like I rewatched it back in, I was like, wow, I must have been really fucking tired because like this group was not that good. Jack,
Oh
did
no.
anything stand out to you about our first group here?
In the rehearsals, Alexis made it very clear that she was trying to tone down and make moves that everyone could get, but no matter what happened here, the other two weren't really getting the moves. And it's surprising that Eureka did so poorly in this challenge. I think Alexis did just fine. I mean, the lyrics may be a little off, but I think that's more of a they were each trying to do that kind of thing and bring themselves and talk about why they're opulent, but that just didn't translate well. Unfortunately, Alexis just like kind of just ends up in a group where she's trying to lead it, but it's like she's just on a sinking ship. Like you can lead the girls to the water, but you can't make them drink. And if anyone wanted to have a good start to the show, they should give their all. And if either of these two girls in her group thought this was their all, they might as well pack their bags now because it was bad. It was so rough to watch. Like I was like, wow, if I was one of the other girls on the other side of the stage watching, I'd be like, well, I feel a lot better, don't you? I think
Shade for the
Alexis's
truth.
decision probably was just about the fact that she thought that Eureka was gonna, Eureka can perform. So like she thought like Eureka got this, Lakahena's gonna get this, like we'll be fine. I think maybe she thought that like in this group she could be a standout and also like lead them to victory. Which in some seasons, being the leader of a group and the group does well, you're automatically given the win. It just
Mhm.
didn't work out that way at all for her.
Yeah, I see that logic. I can see what you're saying there. But then again, she also didn't really have very much of a choice. It was either that or
Yeah.
the other group, but I still think she probably would have been better off. Maybe making a decision to work with the other group and leaving Fierce to struggle bus with these three. Could you imagine Fierce, Lackahanna, and Eureka? Oh my God, that would have been
Oh, it would have been
even
so
worse.
terrible.
Even
I
worse.
don't know how that's possible, but you're right. You are right because I think the only reason that Fierce is even safe this week is because of the group she's in. So she can thank Alexis for that.
And we could talk about our second group here, which is and the face with this beat, which is Fierce, LaFille, and Tainomi. And again, I guess the description for this beat is a sickening club track all about serving a sickening face with beauty. And I think this group kind of got a little bit overshadowed for me overall, just in terms of content. And I had an idea that would probably happen to whichever group would finish in the middle here. But I also don't know if it's necessarily like maybe a good sign that it feels like a lot of the other girls were sticking out. But at the same time, too, again, you have to kind of feature the girls who are going to be in the bottom. You also kind of have to feature the girls who are at the top. So we'll give them another episode or two to decide, their official stance here, in the competition. But we did get to see the start of a few stories here. And obviously, going into this, Tainomi seems to be taking this the most seriously, considering she was in the bottom for the Girl Groups Challenge in her first season. So, this is her true redemption moment to prove she can really eat this challenge. Now, there's some tension between her and Fierce, since, it's Fierce, and she's obviously going to be a lot more relaxed with the process. And Tainomi notes that Fierce is the weakest of the group, as she's not truly a dancer. However, LaFille, I feel like he used his, calming personality to kind of take charge of the group choreo, and I think that's why Tainomi was initially wanting to work with LaFille, which I think was probably a good decision. So Tainomi didn't probably, want to kill Fierce or whatever. But I will say, out of the three bass tracks, this might have been my least favorite, but I think as far as the recording went and how everything ended up here, it ended up to being a really solid group here. And I think LaPhil, personally for me, maybe had one of the standout performances of the night. Like if we were gonna do like a top two, LaPhil probably would have been in my top two just because he took a risk to sing, and just his voice sounded really good on the recording. The choreo looked really good. I I thought they all did really good here. And I thought the choreo was simple enough for Fierce to catch on while being strong enough, for her and Tainomi to still do the song justice. I liked their looks. I thought Fierce actually probably might have had my favorite look of the girl groups. Um, I don't know. I thought this group did pretty well here. I thought they had a good chance here initially to take it until we saw our next group. But Jack, what are your thoughts here on group this beat?
The group overall did really well. I agree with you that LaFille was the standout here. She kept this group above water for sure. Like I think her and Tainomi were really great in this group. I think LaFille was clearly like the necessary leader that was needed here to kind of bridge that gap between Miss Fierce Delicious and Tainomi. But let's be real, Miss Fierce Delicious in the background parts, even during her part, wasn't like the greatest, but like in the background parts, her face was just completely blank. She did not care. She didn't know what she was supposed to be doing. She wasn't hitting many of the dance moves. It was like watching La Cahenna, but version 2 kind of thing. On the stage, I said, you should put her in the same group with Eureka and La Cahenna, because then Eureka might actually be in the top of her group then.
To
Like, could you
imagine.
imagine if Alexis was in the same group as LaFell and Tainomi? It would have been a possible close call, but like if it wasn't for the judging, I truly believe Miss Fierce just would have been in the bottom three this week. I truly believe. I don't think she did well at all. She's lucky about the judging, in my opinion. Um, I do think the group did a great job. LaFille was a huge standout for me. I'm not shocked by that because I don't think LaFille came to just, you know, be a member of the cast. I think she planned to be here. And I think Tainomi does a great job redeeming herself on this challenge that she once struggled with.
Speaking of, just to reiterate here, obviously they're going to be judged in groups at the end of here. Other than the winner is going to come from the best group. Do you think that was fair, or do you think they should have pulled out the bottom three? Because obviously they kind of change things every single time here. Every kind of format is different here. Um, I personally think it's fair to judge them in groups if they're doing the girl group. But what are your thoughts here on how that did up?
So my issue with judging them in groups is the fact that we have the Golden Beaver. So I think that the issue is that like if you for example, Alexis Mateo actually did a really good job in her group. Her other teammates were just pretty much bad. Like Eureka was at like a 3 the whole performance, and Henna was at like a -1 most of the performance. Miss Fierce Delicious was steadily at like a point 0.5 maybe out of 10. I was like, where is the anything? Fierce was not the word I would have used for that performance. For those three, like clearly that should have been the bottom three to me. Like I've made that apparent. I don't think Alexis deserved to be in the bottom because her group sucked. Like she had no bearing about that. She tried to make it good for them. I mean, eventually it ends up going okay for her, but I would never hold this bottom placement against Alexis Mateo because how can you justify putting someone in the bottom who was one of the standouts of the night kind of thing? Just her group sucked. Like I'm not saying her lyrics are great, and don't get me wrong, she wasn't near the top either, but like she clearly wasn't the bottom three. And so for that reason, with so few contestants and like how they're doing the season where it's bottom three plus a Golden Beaver taking someone out, it would have been shady if she had ended up in the bottom two.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with that. I can see what you're saying there. So, I mean, ultimately everything worked out. So, but that happened. But let's talk about I think what was my standout moment of the night here, and we have the Slapbacks with Tongue Pop, with his Cheryl, Kennedy, and Lemon, and they're doing an in-your-face clapback directed at the haters. And honestly, I feel like they really tried to make some drama at this point. Like I wasn't believing any of it. But during the choreo part, they tried to make it seem like everybody had like a huge difference of opinion, and like they were just everybody was just so good that they were just never going to be able to make a decision. Um, I felt like this was all. I mean, like obviously all for the cameras or whatever, just to fill some time here. Because I was never really worried at all. Not sure if you were worried, Jack, but I was never worried.
No. Mm-mm.
Especially because I felt like all we got was personal development, especially from like Kennedy and Lemon. And I really, really was vibing with Kennedy in this segment. I just want to take a moment out here because I feel like Kennedy gets a lot of hate for the way that she was presented a lot in All Stars 7. And I really like the fact that Kennedy just feels like she's in just such a great point in her life here. She's points out that she's in a relationship and her boyfriend, who's a trans man, is also pregnant. And it feels like she's just, again, everything is finally lining up for Kennedy. And it feels like she's just glowing, she's happy. And I feel like we've just been getting a lot of fun from her this season. Jack, do you have any comments here on just Kennedy's overall attitude this season?
You know what? It's refreshing to see Kennedy be more invested in herself. I think it's not that she wasn't necessarily invested in herself before. It just I think she was listening to too many of like her comparisons to the other competitors and like the things going on in the workroom more than she was like just being the best version of herself. And I do feel like we've seen a lot of growth from Kennedy. I know in All Stars 3, she wasn't really portrayed the best. She didn't have a great track record. You know, she did extremely well in one challenge and then nothing else came of that like whole season basically. um this season Kennedy looks refreshed. She might not give the best performance of the night, but she definitely gives an overall great performance, and it's fun, it's high energy, she's got some really fun lines. Like maybe it's not the best thing she's great at, like maybe making lyrics and singing isn't her forte, but damn did she put on a show with this group, and she did a great job.
I think actually she had my second favorite lyric of the night with her, "Girl, if someone didn't like me, I wouldn't even know it." I kind of love that. I kind of love that. At the same time, though, too, here, we also see a lot of personal content, I think, from Lemon. Especially as Lemon reveals that she was in a depression following her first boot elimination in UK versus the World One. But holy shit, did she not come here to slay? Because she cleared all these bitches tonight. Her lyrics were the best, hands down. Like she is really like I think one of the best rap stitches to come from RuPaul's Drag Race whatsoever. that line, I ain't got beef because I don't eat meat, so I never let a fake bitch fuck with me. Oh my god, Lemon, like, so good, so good. Um, I loved personally how effortless this performance was from all three of the queens here. It really felt like everybody showed up on the choreography. What the fuck was I even saying there? Like I said, it felt just so effortless. And for me, for the song. They might have had the easiest out of everybody, but they nailed it completely. So, like, it might have been the simplest concept, but they nailed the assignment 1,000%. And my favorite parts were when they were doing like the slow walking together, all being sassy and
Ah,
whatnot. Oh my god,
the
it was so
strut.
good.
Oh my god,
The
the strut.
perfect gate. It was the perfect gaslight gatekeep girl boss moment of the night, without a doubt. This could be one of my favorite girl group performances in all of the franchises, dare I might say. I don't know if I put it up that far just yet. I don't know if it's that iconic, but Lemon's part for me,
Sure
a
is.
1,000% is.
Listen, this group was so amazing. Cheryl proving once again that she is like a girl group connoisseur. And I kind of have to disagree with you a little bit about one thing that you said, thinking that this song was going to be the easiest, because I really feel like it wasn't that the song was going to be the easiest. Like the concept was simple, but I think all of the concepts were pretty simple. I just think they executed it the best, and I think they just had the best lyrics overall of the night for the most part. And I think that they had the right attitude going into said song. Like if it were me, and I'm shocked, I would have picked this song over any other song they would have given me because I was like, I get to talk shit and tell you why I'm better than you, essentially. Who doesn't want to talk shit and have attitude and tell you why they're better? You know what I want in my drag queens? I want an attitude. I want to see that charisma. That's one of the letters, ladies. C, charisma. This is what this challenge was giving you the opportunity for. And damn did this group show out. Also, gotta agree with you, Lemon had the best lyrics of the night. It was so fun to see her, Cheryl, and Kennedy like interacting with each other during the performance. I really felt like we were at like a concert ready performance. Like I know they didn't have that much time to prepare this, but I wanted to be there. Like I wanted to be in the stage. I have Tongue Pop on my phone. I downloaded it. It was great. It's amazing.
Honestly, one of the best diss tracks that we've had from the show. Honestly, like, and there's a lot of we probably need to sit down probably at the end of the year. I think to make like the definitive list of the best tracks to come from RuPaul's Drag Race. But this will be up there, 1,000%. Um,
100%
wow,
top five.
just wow, such an amazing way to start the season. Just oh god. Now let's go ahead and get to the runway really quick. We go and do another lightning round here, because the runway this season, this episode was Wonders of the World, aka their best drag. Now Alexis Mateo, I think, starts off with my favorite look of the night here. She's going for the biggest queer Vegas peacock ever, and I think this could be perhaps my favorite look that she has ever done. It's
Easily.
so much like a very signature. Like if we were gonna say like the Georgia special, like this is something I would expect to see from Alexis. Like this is her signature like showgirl piece. But why does this feel like the most glowed up version of her that she has ever brought to this main
No,
stage?
it really is the most glowed up version. It reminds me of Eureka's final look from All Star 6, but better. And I feel like this look was just just so much Alexis Mateo. It shows it's her showgirl background. She's pageant, but she's so much more. She gives us that reveal. It was sickening. Bam. That's all I gotta say about
Mhm.
Alexis. Also, I have to mention one thing. I'm not a fan of their best drag as a category. I think it's cheap and meh because I think your best drag should be your eleganza look, but that's my opinion. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, I feel like maybe it should be considered signature drag instead of best drag, maybe as the category title. Because that's what I kind of think of it as. It's
Yeah,
obviously you're gonna bring your best drag for your finale look, but like
hopefully.
I feel like this would be like what you're known for, as far as I'm concerned. Um, Lakahena's Scorpion Queen of the Desert look. Eh,
Girl, bad. Bad, bad. It looks like a diaper. She's got the little like robes over it. It is
I
just it
really,
looks like it's from her first season that she didn't get to wear. And plus
yeah, it's
I
definitely giving season one because it's just like girl, like Like I get what she's going for though, because I get that she's going for like a more traditionally like inspired look from her from the Middle Eastern or from her background here, and but trying to make it a little more modern. And I like the ideas of what she's trying to do, but like there's no fit here whatsoever. There's no shape. Like I hate how the black stocking stops at her ankles and like we see her feet. Like it just like her.
Mm-mm.
It's I
Bad.
hate the shoes. Like I want to. I really want to like this. Like I want
The best
to.
thing is the scorpion around her neck, and even
Yeah.
that looks just like a cheap afterthought. It doesn't make sense with this. The like arm sleeve things that are cut off, those don't make sense. They're not even pulled up all the way. And it was intentional, but the corset part is ugly and everything's bad.
Can I say
It's the
actually I like it from behind, but that sounds really shady. Like the back when she's walking backwards, like it actually doesn't look so bad, but as soon as she turns around from front, I'm like, oh, oof.
so the back silhouette isn't terrible, and that is the greatest thing we have gotten from this. Like the back silhouette isn't terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah, that about explains the whole episode for her.
Oh, okay, Hannah. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Girl,
Um,
she
uh, let's go to Eureka because I just my heart can't
yeah,
take it.
let's please go.
Because let's talk about someone who has more knowledge, did something and did something I like almost is least is like I don't like this concept. Like she's going for a heart on your sleeve, elephant queen, eleganza, and when she like puts her head together, or the heart sleeves together, it's supposed to be like a heart elephant. I don't
It
like
looked great before
this.
she revealed it.
I don't I don't like it.
You
I'm
didn't like the
sorry.
elephant. I liked the elephant part of it, and then she undid it, and I said, "Okay, this is garbage, Mama."
Well, yeah,
Like
because she has to undo it, because otherwise she won't be able to see where she's walking. Like if it's just the heart elephant, okay, cute. But like the actual outfit itself is just a bodysuit, and it's like and house slippers. Like it's not cute,
it's
not
well, and
good.
then the
Like this is
details,
bad. Like this is bad. Like
the fur's in the wrong place. There,
Eureka is
the
one of my
underneath bra
favorite.
doesn't
Like
even call out.
if we're gonna like say like whatever you want to say about size or whatever, Eureka has always known her size and shown up, and as far as I'm concerned, had some of the best looks of any queen. This is not Eureka, as far as I'm concerned. Like this is not good. This is not what I
You
would
know
expect
what?
from her.
You know what we can say about this though? That this is what puts it above Lakahena's. The crown and hair is good. The
hmm
elephant
The
arms are
crown is
good.
great, and the hair is amazing. The wig is fantastic. That is one thing I did want to say. That
I
wig is
think the
fantastic.
idea of these like wing arms is great when they separate, but the underneath part, trash, mama, garbage. Throw out that bodysuit. Throw out the bra you were wearing with it. Because how dare you have like, come on, this is your fourth time here. You can't let your bra just be out above your bodysuit. What is this? This is not your
Yeah,
first time here. It's unacceptable.
it really is. And I I I I feel like people give Eureka a lot of crap, and I'm like, I don't want to hate on Eureka for that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I really do appreciate what Eureka has brought to the. I feel like she's very undervalued, but I'm like, girl,
Yeah,
what is this? Please, please. You're giving you're giving them more ammunition. Just stop. No, I'm just kidding. No,
they
this is not
are
good.
giving more
This was not good.
ammunition.
This is not good. Um, let's move on here because yeah, we'll move on.
Yes.
Let's go to Lemon, our next queen. And I'm gonna say again, I'm gonna be completely biased here because I got to meet Lemon at DragCon, and she's actually the only Canada versus the World 2 girly I got to talk to. Not because just because I did bad planning. But like Lemon was one of the first people I was making sure I was gonna talk to. So I will say I am very biased here. Oh, hang on. Let's say I did get to see Alexis. She was while I was waiting in line for Vanjie. She showed up, hung out with Vanjie for a little bit, and took some pictures. But I was too far back in line to get like a really good picture. But yeah, I got to see Alexis too. But yeah, um, I got to see Lemon in this look firsthand, and let me just tell you, I just could feel how beautiful she felt in this. And I'm going to bring up something that I saw on Twitter today because Lemon was dealing with a lot of people commenting on her size and saying that she was dealing with a little bit of a belly in her performance here. And I'm like, first off, like, fuck y'all. Like, don't even like make comments on people's figures like that. Like, that's just so rude. Like number two, like clearly she's still in amazing shape because look at the shit that she was able to do tonight. Number three, clearly based off of her pastor, she's had issues with like eating disorders, whatnot, to keep in shape. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most beautiful looks that she's ever looked in. And the fact that I got to see her in person and feel that energy that she was radiating, all I'm gonna say is fuck all of y'all who have anything to say about it. So what I will say, yes, I'm clearly biased by this. Everything about this look, I love the the hair is by far my favorite part of it, but I love the rhinestone throughout all of it. The fact that she pulls off yellow, I feel like no other queen, like other than Nymphia. Um, it's just such a signature look here, and I'm gonna say it. I'm skewing the rankings in Lemon's favor here. I love this look.
I like this look. I love the pattern in the skirt. I love the top and the gloves being matching. I feel like there was a bit of disconnect on the body plate where the skirt kind of starts area for the dress. I like the shoe. I love the hair. I love the earrings. I think it's accessorized well. I again, this may be signature drag, I guess, which is great. It doesn't stand out as much as other people. It's still a very kind of middly for me, but it was a good look. It wasn't like her best look, I think, in my opinion. But I think she looks great. I don't know who's saying all those terrible things about Lemon, but that's hateful. And as a bigger person myself, especially, I don't really give like the body shaming thing. Like, I'm not trying to say that like we can't critique people how they look, but we shouldn't critique them just because they are a bigger person or if they have put on a little bit of weight. Who cares? She looks amazing, like in her shape. It looks good. It's not like we've saw so many worse looks tonight already. Her look is fine. I don't know why anyone would hate that hard.
I agree. I feel like people just look for reasons to hate on people who are in good places just to kind of bring them down to their shitty place. So that's just my opinion on the situation. But let's move on here to Miss Kennedy here because we're supposed to be giving a rapid fire. I forgot here, so sorry. I felt like this look was kind of similar to Lemons in the fact that it was kind of mostly just like like a rhinestone situation going on. But I did like portions of this and dislike portions of this compared to like what I got from Lemon, and the fact that I didn't like the placement of, actually, hang on, let me rephrase this. I love the placement of the feathers behind her body. Hate
Yes.
placement of the feathers on her body. The ones that are visible in front. I
I
don't like it.
Yeah, the slit where it is on the dress on the bottom um is great. If the feathers had come down just like maybe like 6 to 5 inches, so it was like right on her hip kind of thing, like right on her padding, kind of thought like right above her thigh on her butt, like kind of thing would have been greater effect for us, I think. It was just the angle at which the feathers had to go. This is a much nicer looking like dress though than what I think we're used to on Kennedy. Not to like throw shade, but I do think this is Kennedy's even greater drag kind of thing. I don't think it has as great of an effect because we saw Alexis first. So that was kind of
Hmm.
unfortunate because their looks are very similar, like
Right.
style. But this, they're both pageant queens. Like this is giving me her signature look. Maybe not her best drag, but definitely her signature look, and I love that about it. Um, Rather in the middle for me, but very good. I like all the details. I love that she's rhinestone down because that's what she's known for. She looks great overall.
I thought so too. I'm very actually excited to see Kennedy's fashion this season. I'm hoping again this could be the season that redeems the fashion package. Um, Now we have Cheryl. Now she's the Essex Angel, and I thought it was actually a pretty elegant gown, at least on first glance. I love the slit up front. I love the way the sleeves are like attached to the bottom of the gown. But dear Lord, do I hate that tassel or that feather or whatever that is, that puffiness around her neck. It's just really distracting. It's a really, I don't know. I don't like it. The collar just, it has a lot of additional clutter that I just didn't think she needed. I think she could have done without that. It would have been so clean and maybe something that I wouldn't expect from Cheryl. But I also feel like Cheryl's style is kind of like that. Maybe she's like the Alyssa Edwards of the UK, where she has to have just that. that obnoxious ridiculousness added to it to, make it her. I don't know. I bet I
I I see what
lower
you're
to
saying.
middle, little lower to middle back here.
Yeah, I put her in the lower mid myself. I think it's what the judges were saying. Like that part up top is great. It's grandeur. I love it. It just needed to be pulled down a little bit so we got more of her neck because she looks like she's being swallowed up. It looks like just her face on top of the feathers going on. I think the other part that was an issue for me, I didn't mind the shoes being a little clunky. That I have no problem with a little gaudiness every once in a while, but it's the side part where the dress is slit and how there's that panel on the right, or well, I guess technically her left of it that just kind of doesn't really fit with it. It doesn't look like the same material. I would have preferred it just been that whole like white across, but this is like I don't know, looks like fake body or something like it was supposed to be a cutout or it was supposed to be like for skin tone, which it isn't. I don't know. That's what lowered it for me. But overall, very good look. If we just make a couple tweaks here and there, I think this look could definitely be saved. Also, maybe some of the lining wasn't great, but that is a very minute detail.
Yeah, I didn't mind it as much as I'm probably making a bigger deal of. I think other people just had cleaner looks tonight. Um,
Definitely.
Now, speaking of someone who had a look to me that I really liked at first, and then it was kind of like, Tainomi with her dripping chicken in chocolate. Um, I liked it. I liked the. Oh, hang on. I really liked the top half of this because it was very intricate. I love the wig. I love the makeup. I love the feathers. It just felt very, grander. And then I I hate the bottom of it. Like I'm sorry, I absolutely hate the bottom of it. Like we sometimes look at some dresses and be like, this is an afterthought, and it's like I liked how like the bodice part, or at least the bottom part of it, like how it was connected, kind of like whooshed up a little bit. But everything else about it, it just felt like it was like why make it tiny so the fact you can't walk in it, girl. I get that you want to take your time, but like this was just yeah, this was just a design issue for me, I guess. But I did love the fact that she took up, or she enjoyed every single moment she was out there with that teeny little walk.
You know what, though? You're so right about the top half. It's so great, the top half. Like the shoulder feathers, the hair looking like feathers styled up like this. This like it almost looks like wood, like she's a stump and she's like a tree is emerging from a stump. Almost is what I was getting from this. Is kind of the fun way of it, or like a pixie emerging from a stump in a forest, something like that. I don't know how to explain that. But the bottom part, first of all, it need to be ironed or steamed or something. Like
Mm,
the I could see where the vision was going with these two like the two sides that flow out and then like the into the shape. I actually really love the shape here. I can see the exact like hemming that they were doing into the shape, but the part that's supposed to be like a mermaid dress kind of feel or like whoosh out like that just ruins the whole thing. Like put your hand over that part and it's not that bad. It really isn't. Like it's really great from like that part up for the most part. Overall, pretty high scoring look for me. It's just this bottom part really is not it,
this felt like they
but it
could have done
almost
so
matches
much
the hair.
more with it. Could have done so much more with it. But I get it.
You
I
know
get
what
what they wanted
though?
for it. But I
Tainomi had such bad looks on her season. This is such an improvement. I'm gonna at least give her that compliment, even if it sounds backhanded. I really do mean this as a compliment. Like I really think she looks beautiful here.
oh, 100%. This would be. I feel like every time she walks out this room, be like, this is the best Tanomi's ever looked. But then I'm also like,
Damn.
oh, wow. Anyway, let's move on to LaPhil here, and she's giving her best drag
Uh,
on, and I do really love this look. It's giving one of those giant dragons you see on Chinese New Year's, but instead of having like 8 people in it to operate it, you only need LaPhil. The color is beautiful. You can never go wrong with red and gold, and I love the silver accents. My only slight to it that made me rank it a little bit lower than a couple other looks tonight is I don't like the sleeves. I get it. I get it. I understand what it's supposed to be. I get it. But I don't like the black white how it looks, and then like the red arm is popping out of it. Like it just I get the concept. I just don't know if I like the execution of it entirely.
So I like completely disagree. I thought the execution was amazing. When she came out and I saw like the whole thing in her pose, I gagged because this is the kind of fashion that I love. Like this was something I was not thinking. Like this is next level drag. Like this is construction of the garment, not to just look good, but it creates an image for you. This is so fierce. This is everything. My favorite of the week, just surpassed Alexis because I just think that this is so iconic. I think this is so great. Like when she stands forward facing with the arms out and stuff, and you can see the head of the dragon to the train that she's pulling back as if it's the back of the dragon. Like this is just so good. You know, the little fringe everywhere is amazing. I there's nothing I can complain about in this look. I love the headpiece. I love that she's like bringing us this whole experience from her, and like her drag just is it's telling a story. It's beautiful. The metallic red is gorgeous. 10 cents for me from LaFell. Always.
I get
Almost.
it. We do love the LaFell. Maybe not me as much as you, but I do love this look. Uh, let's get to our final look of the night, though, which is Miss Fierce Elizabeth, who is doing what did I call it? Fierce Ellipsis? Fierce Alicious with her glow up of the prolapse gown, which, oh my fucking god, can I just say, I hate this reference, but I fucking love this reference, and I love this dress. Like, this is, it's so fucking hilarious that she did. Like, this would be something like if, for whatever reason, like Monet decided to do like a glowed up version of her sponge gown.
Please
I
no
would have been
again.
here for it. I would have been here for it. Like, use that one reference that, or use one of your references that you are known for, and fucking beat it down and until you cannot do it any longer. But like, do it like this. Like, make it terrible and then make it amazing. This is why I don't mind her runway look, is the fact that she just, or sorry, her entrance look, because she reminded us how terrible that first look was. And then to come out looking like this, oh my god. Such a full circle moment, I feel like, for Fierce here. And I love this for her. This is why I love this bitch.
You know, it's a great figure. It's a great silhouette. It's very reminiscent of um, Violet Chachki's look at the crowning for season 8, I believe, where it was her
Hmm.
step down look. You know, it's
Oh
kind of
my
giving
god,
that.
that look.
It's kind of giving like Mother Mary almost a little bit. I don't know if you can see that from like the drape of the top. It's funny when
Yes, yes, I see that. I see that.
I the bottom part, just a little minute detail. The bottom part, like I want it to be more seamlessly like shaped. I don't know. There's something like right at the edge that like reference to Alexis Mateo in season 5, her dress she made for the ball, where it was like it cut off and then like kind of fell, as opposed to
Mm,
perfectly going out beautifully. I just
yeah.
think this is a way you can make it nicer. But then again, like I'm not asking for perfection. I'm just saying if I had a critique, that's my critique. I like the placement of a lot of these like ropes and little balls of I think it's rope. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but I love the orange and the blue, the complementary colors. Like it's going great. Like it's a great look. I think I put it in third place because I thought Alexa Mateos was just a little bit better. But a
Mhm.
great week for Miss Fierce Delicious on the runway.
I mean,
The
like, I feel like the
runway.
runway was pretty clear here. The top three was definitely like LaPhil, Fierce, Lemon. Sorry, LaPhil, Fierce, Alexis, and then like the bottom three were definitely like Eureka, Lockenna, Cheryl. Um, in
Yeah.
some order, with the other three definitely probably being in the middle. But as far as when it comes to the challenger, I don't think there's any disagreement here. I think everybody is in agreement. And if you're not, come look at me. Because Lemon won this challenge, bitch. She has redeemed herself. And at this point, based off of what's happened here, the Canadian curse has officially been lifted. Actually, technically, it was actually lifted in UK versus the world too, because I'm pretty sure a Canadian girl did not go home first that season. But you know what? Let's just use it for storyline purposes. They didn't know about UK versus World 2 when this was filming. So, anyways, yay, Lemon cleared her curse, yay. And so let's go ahead and head backstage where we get some much needed drama because I'm very actually interested to hear your point of view on this, Jack. Because Eureka publicly decides to plead her case that she doesn't want to lip sync, which offends Alexis because Alexis feels like she did way better in the challenge than Eureka did, and she also dumbed down her skills in order to help Eureka out, and Eureka still did bad. Now, I'm not sure if there's more to this tea or not. I think Alexis is maybe alluding that, at least on Twitter, that there could be more than what we're hearing here, but I do know one of my things about Alexis Mateo that I do not like, at least on this show, is she tends to get really offended just on the fly by everything. Everything kind of offends her. So I feel like she does take things very personally. So initially, when all of this went down, I was on Eureka's side because I felt like Eureka was just explaining her case for why she wanted things to happen. And I did feel like Alexis's explanation, she kind of did take things a little personally. But I do understand that Alexis did 1,000% better in this challenge than Eureka ever did. So honestly, I'm kind of torn. Like I don't know which side between the two to say because I think Alexis is right, but I think for the wrong reasons,
um, so I disagree. I think
and that's
Alexis
fine.
is right for the correct reasons because you're just like, I just don't want to lip sync, girl. And I was like, but you're in the bottom. You are the bottom queen. Like you and Lakahena are the bottom queens. Like if Fierce Licious was here, there is a definite like it could be you or it could be Fierce. Like it could be between the two of you, right? Like of not having to
But
lip
is she
sync.
wrong for just making a case? Like she didn't like. But for me, I feel like
Did
if it
she
was
make a
to
case?
say like, well, that's what it was. Is that like I feel like if she was to be like, hey, I did better than Alexis, blah blah blah
Well,
blah.
she
It's
did
like
do.
no,
She did say
she
that.
just straight up said I she said that she felt like she got the better critiques on
Yeah, that
whatever
was some
she said about,
bullshit.
which was
She
obviously
was
not correct.
on
Um,
drugs. I don't know
but
what was going
I
on
don't think
there.
she said anything specifically about Alexis for Alexis to take it as personally as she did. I do understand if
I
Alexis wants to clap back because Alexis obviously is entitled to have a point of view, but I also feel like she did take it very personally, and I don't know what else may have been said here for that to happen. But it felt like things got very personal for her versus it didn't feel like, at least on Eureka's end, that it was that person.
so Eureka said a lot of things that like rubbed me the wrong way for this, and maybe that'll like I can maybe put some insight here for Alexis.
Hmm.
So Eureka says like, oh, she thinks she got better critiques than everyone in her group, and I'm like, mixed squeeze me. So first of all, Alexis is upset because she's in the bottom for no reason. There's no reason she's in this bottom other than the way they chose to judge it. And I think most people at home were like, why Alexis in the bottom though? Like, why did you
Agree.
choose to do a girl group like this and like do them dirty? Like, if anything, it should have been, if it were me, the winning group, assuming everyone did well in the group, all of them safe, one of them winner immediately. The next six girls will be judged individually, but based on the context of their groups, not just automatically you're safe. And I know that sometimes splitting up can be shady and sometimes they don't. And it's very it's like semantics, but look at the runway, look at the performance. Alexis not only tore them both up from the floor down, she like literally threw them into like a train kind of like I don't understand like how Eureka can make this case that she's like, I'm not that person anymore. I used to think of me, me, me only. And I think Alexis is like, bitch, did you hear yourself speak? You just tried to say that I was worse than you, and you don't think that you're that person anymore, and you're not that person, but you are literally being 100% that person right now. Like, to put it in context, I feel like Eureka is so delusional right now, and Alexis Mateo's already not having it because, like, this is not part of her vision. She clearly doesn't deserve to be in the bottom. And then her teammate is kind of throwing her under the bus a little bit here. And maybe not like personally saying her name, but she said, I think I was better than the other two girls in my group. And I was like, now I know that everyone up in here heard the same exact like things that were said on that runway. So I need all of y'all to defend me and be like, that is not the tea, sis. You are lying straight up 100%. Because let's be real here. Laka should be in the bottom regardless.
Mhm.
Alexis should not be in the bottom. Eureka should be. So you're talking to the person who won the challenge. You have someone who's basically checked out from the competition, and then you have someone who, instead of making a case of like, I tried to like, someone made a case and tried to essentially throw down what Alexis had been doing, and Alexis just was like, you know what, I'm standing my ground. I'm calling Eureka out. I'm assuming she didn't like Eureka before that, anyways, based on the information and the things she was saying in the room and her interview. She's like, I do a lot of things I don't like being around you. And I was like, ooh, I loved that about Alexis. I love that she had this fire, this fight. Like when Alexis went off to me, I was like, and this is exactly why Alexis Mateo needs to stay in the competition, because she is here to fight. She's here to show you that she like does good drag. But right now, based on everything that you've seen, Eureka and Laka should be in the bottom two if we have to have this bottom three.
Mhm. Can I say what's the real gag for me though, out of all of
Miss
this?
Fierce
Like
Delicious,
the
was it
yes,
Miss
I
Fierce
was gonna
Delicious?
say the drama between Alexis and Eureka to me was really nothing. I was just like, that's more like he said, she said shit. The moment Fierce fucking popped in there and decided that Lemon should maybe think about how it's some girl's fourth time showing off and they didn't bring it, comparing to Lakaena who's only had one episode of experience. Oh my god, I died. If I was sitting in a chair, I would have fell out. This is why I love Fierce. Fierce is so fucking messy.
It is very messy. I love stirring. I love when a girl stirs the pot, but she has to accept what she did. Because if Alexis had gone off on her, like I wouldn't have blamed her, because I would have been like, "Your ass is lucky you're not in the bottom, girl. Your performance sucked." Because I would have gone for like, you know me, I'm immediately like, I'm jumping to the cut. She went low, bitch. I'm going to hell. Like I'm cutting her down. Like I think Fierce Delicious. It's funny that she said that, but I also think it's funny that the girl who said the thing is also the girl who should be in the bottom three with the other two. So I'm like, yikes! And will Alexis remember this later in the competition? Because clearly Alexis and Eureka are still here. Will this happen to put a target on Miss Fierce Delicious's back? Potentially, because the girls didn't come to play this season.
Could you have imagined if we started out the season with Alexis and Eureka, the two four-time contestants, having to lip sync against each other? I would have gagged. I would have gagged. Just gagged. Ultimately, Lemon decides to do the right thing and not ruffle any feathers and save Alexis with the Golden Beaver, leaving Eureka and Lakahenna to lip sync to guest judge Charlotte Cardine's song Meaningless, which, I'll be honest, I have no idea who this bitch is. Do you know who she is? I've never heard of her before.
She's a recent new artist in Canada. That's all I got from it. I didn't know her
Okay.
song. I didn't know her.
Well, I didn't know
Sorry.
this song, but I thought she had a good voice. I liked the song. I thought it was a really good song. It was a little outside of the normal because I feel like we're used to, that first, it's the premiere having that high energy kicking bucking song. This wasn't it. They
Mm,
went full ballad here, which I think may have been at least to the benefit of Lakahenna, and
definitely.
you kind of feel like she may have won it until she turned around. The moment she turned around in the middle of the bridge, I was just like, "Girl, girl, no!" Like I
Mm,
thought she was beating Eureka for me personally. Um, Also, I would say that the thing that kind of also took me out a little bit was the nip slips. The outfit was not good for the lip sync, and I was just very distracted
oh,
overall. Um, so I get why Eureka won it. I'm not saying like that she was robbed here. She's definitely not. But I saw the case for Locana possibly staying.
you know, I'm trying to be kind or whatever to everyone, but and I understand. I can see the case for it, but you can't tell me after that whole like 17 minutes of bridge where she's just facing the opposite side of the stage, not doing anything, by the way, that she had any reason to even be considered a winner at that point, right? And I've seen so many comments online. People are like, "Would it be controversial if I said Lakahenna won that lip sync?" And I have to tell you,
Yes.
yes, yes, it is, because the lip sync wasn't good. Like, I honestly was like, okay, neither of them are really dressed well here on the runway. I was like, Eureka has on a gown or like an outfit that's like meant not a gown, a outfit that's meant for like kicking and bucking and got all this like huge fringe on it. And I was like, when the song started playing, I was like, this is not that. This is
Right.
not that at all. And
Yeah.
I could see that Lakahena was trying to perform and connect with us, but I just didn't feel like Lakahena was really performing. If anything, I think the reason that people liked Lakahena's performance was because it was so muted, but I don't think that was a Lakahena like decision. I just think that was her doing her normal stuff, and I'm not trying to put her down, but based on everything we have seen from her time on both shows, she has not given us any levels. It's always been that same kind of level, basically. And I just think that that was like a good song for that level. But I think Eureka was trying more than Lakana was overall. And I think I have to give her the fact that she was trying more. She was trying to get the attention of the judges. She was trying to tell the girls, like, I deserve to be here. And Lakahena was like, I'm trying to do this song, but I still haven't changed a goddamn thing. And to me, I was like, well, someone's coming back. I guess Eureka's coming back because it has to be
Unfortunately.
done. I don't. I mean,
There's only
honestly,
9 of them. We can't do a double elimination, so
girl, I was ready for a double elimination. Honestly, I was like, but I think Eureka gave me more than what Lock. I know Eureka gave me more than what
yeah.
Lakana did. So I
Eureka
was like,
did like
I
her leg
if
kicks and whatnot. She had some more energy. Yeah, I get
that
it.
was a choice that she did. I didn't need her to do that. I just needed her
She
to keep
didn't,
connecting
but
with the
she was
judges.
trying. She was giving the patient that she knew how to
It
give.
was
I don't know.
desperation,
Yeah,
in my
okay, yeah.
opinion. But like,
Desperation,
I
not
get it.
passion.
You don't want to be the first one out, especially imagine getting kicked out in the first episode as your fourth time returning back, and it's to a girl who went out first time on her challenge, and you were a mother figure to her in the first episode, and she gave nothing of any kind of levels. She was just the same person the whole time. It would be a very bad look.
Mhm.
Like
I
all
would
I'm saying is
say,
that like
yeah.
not
Like
good.
it's I feel like what for me comes down to is less on Lakahena and more on so on just production for like this just feels like such a obvious stunt in a lot of ways to bring back a girl that you probably know isn't gonna be the strongest in the show, and this just feels like it's giving me Francesca Hogi from Survivor Caramel all over again. I said it in the preview, like it feels like they were just trying to like, oh, okay, now we have the first double pork chop, and I'm like, like did we need to like there was. I'm sure there was somebody else that would have been okay with coming back here, and like I feel like people like Lemon are now getting a lot of shit online because they're like, well, why didn't you give Lockhana a chance? You know what it's like to be the first boot. It's like, well, she didn't do well, and it's like I think she's right. There are some queens that are just you're a good drag queen. You're what you do on Drag Race has nothing to do with how successful of a drag queen that you are. It's just some queens are better at Drag Race than others, and Drag Race is the like by far the hardest reality TV show that's out there because you have to be so multi-talented at so many things. And it's not just about, delivering a good lip sync or an okay look. So yeah, I just don't understand why they decided to go in this direction here for this portion of it, and it just felt really mean spirited to me to bring Lockhana all the way to Canada and then do this to her personally,
I
for my
mean,
opinion.
I agree with you to some extent that like probably knew she wasn't going to do well, but they brought her back anyways. But I have to say that like in her confessionals, she was way more like she gave more in her confessionals than she gave in her drag persona. Like, you know, like did you feel that?
Because they were filmed after the fact, so she's had all this time to sit in her hotel room and be like, okay, I could get zen with it and just understand that I'm going to be the second pork chop and be down with it and be okay with it. You know, like
I
it's
just
I don't know. I just it's giving like all sorts of All Stars 8 casting teas where you just cast people where you know how they're gonna finish.
I don't know. I can see that, but I also just feel like she wasn't ready to come back, and clearly she should have known she wasn't ready. And I get it; she might not have never gotten an opportunity again, so she took it. but I wish she had given herself anything, like just literally anything. And I didn't feel like she gave anything, but like I didn't get a chopped on episode 1 of the first season, and I'm back with the exact same thing I did the first time.
Yeah, that's why I just feel like I like if she was coming back, I wish she would have just gone all out just to make it to episode 2. That's all. I don't know. Like I feel like I loved everything up until this episode, until this elimination. The elimination was the only thing I was kind of like, eh. Like, because I felt like that was the most obvious thing going into this is this being the result. But I think that's maybe just me trying to focus on the negative because honestly, everything else about this premiere was fucking fantastic. We had got probably one of the best girl group challenges that we've had in recent memory. We've getting the starts of some great drama to move things forward here, and apparently next episode we're gonna get to see the fight between Fierce and Tainomi. So, oh, very excited for that, y'all. Also,
That'll be interesting.
kind of love the nod here to one of our recent podcasts and shows that we recently got into, as their next challenge is going to be an acting challenge based off of a whodunit reality show called The Hole. Oh my god, the mole. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Tell me why I feel like this could be one of my favorite acting challenges, just based on pure theme alone. Do you have any thoughts, Jack, as we head into episode 2 of Canada versus the World?
I'm excited because they're also bringing in a guest actress for this episode, which
Oh
I
my
think is really funny
god.
and fun. Like, there's 8 girls. Is it going to be more improv like, or is it going to be more scripted? Like, I don't know because if it's scripted, that you really have to work on the material. If it's improv, you have to make sure you're not falling behind or falling in the shadows. So, I think it'll be interesting to see what the girls decide to do this time.
Well, let's hope with Lisa Renna on board here that things are more like Forensic Queens All Star 9 or sorry, All Stars 8, and less like really any other acting challenge we've seen there. Because Forensic Queens was probably one of my more favorite acting challenges with improv here. So let's hope they get a little bit of say in what they get to do here. But overall, I'm very optimistic with this season start here. And honestly, like I said, these girl groups performances gave some great energy. I think it's going to really lead this into a great start for the season here. And I'm just very excited to see where we go from here. So, if y'all made it all the way through the podcast, y'all, I appreciate y'all listening. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment below because we love to get your opinions, y'all. And I know we have said some controversial shit, so feel free to judge all of our opinions respectfully, of course. And of course, we will be back in the next podcast, more than likely on Friday. Probably have a double dose of goodness coming to you for the end of All Stars 9, as well as yet another episode of Canada versus the World Tour. So, on behalf of QuackrrJack, I am Renegade. Until next time, y'all, keep spilling that tea. See you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.